Hi, welcome to Abbey College Cambridge. I'm Tori, I'm the marketing officer, and I will be showing you around the college this morning. Okay, right, well, I think we will get started, and I'm sure a few more will join us as we go along. So I'm going to flip my camera and just sort of pan you around. So this is our main entrance, and as you enter the college, this is our reception, and this is where all the student post is delivered, and everyone sort of visitors come and sign in. Valerie's saying hello. So I will just wander around here to the main hall at the college. This is a great space that we have here that gets used for lots of different things. So as you can see, the volleyball net's up, so the students have been doing some volleyball. It's half term here, so there's no lessons are happening, but there are still students in college. This also gets used for assemblies, music concerts, movie nights, as well as sports. So lots of different things that happen here in our hall. So to give you an idea of a lovely sunny day here in Cambridge, so I'm just going to wander through into our courtyard a little bit so you can see the building. So that's the hall that we've just been into. We have two blocks. So over there is what we call Block B, and that is one of our teaching blocks. Just there we have Abbey House. That's one of our boarding houses for our younger students, and we're going to go and visit in there shortly. And then here we have Block A, which is another one of our teaching blocks. And we've got the basketball court, our lovely gardens. And so we are all very, very lucky to have this lovely purpose-built campus that is our home. So we're going to wander back inside. And we can wander through. So here we have our medical centre. So this is where our matron Dawn is based. And each of the boarding houses also has a matron based on site as well. So all of our students' health, welfare, medical needs are looked after by our expert team here. And should any external appointments be required, they will help get them all organised. So we're going to wander down towards common room as we go down, just sort of point out we've got our results along the wall here. As you know, we are a very kind of aspirational college here. The students that come here are looking to progress to those sort of top universities, sort of Oxford, Cambridge, LSE, Durham, St Andrews, and it's kind of the results that we get do reflect that. So as we will carry on now down along through the ground floor. As I said, it's half term this week, so the students are on sort of free studying time. So there's lots of different activities that have been organised for them. You'll see there on Sunday, they were at Harry Potter Studios. All right, so just along here, I'm going to show you these posters. So these are our house posters. So here, the students that are here are in one of the 7 houses. We've got Zeus, Minerva, Juno, Jupiter, Hera, Athena, and Apollo. And the houses are very much the students' community and home. As you can see on this poster here for Jupiter, so they have Ivana, who's the house master, who is a key point of contact for parents and an agent. And then the head of house then is all the students who are in Jupiter House are all in Abbey House boarding. So again, Ben is another key point of contact, and they are there sort of overseeing all the, again, the health, welfare and safety and academic progress of all the students who are here. So we're just going to quickly show you in the common room. We've got some students in here, so we won't So this is the common room where the students are able to sort of come and relax between their lessons, break times, lunch times. They can study in here or just sort of relax with their friends. So while we're here, and down towards the dining room, it's just the end of breakfast service. So should have shown you, this is actually last week's, this week's menu that we've got here, give you an idea of the kind of food we have. Harrison's wonderful catering team who prepare their food, everything's sort of cooked fresh here on site, prepared locally, and the students do get an input into the menu. We do a lot of different surveys and things allowing students to have their input into the food that's eating. So as I was saying, it's half term, so here's just an idea of some of the activities that have been organised for the students, should they wish to take part in some different things over half term. And here we've got the display, obviously we've just had Lunar New Year, so we had some celebrations and activities happening here for those students who are celebrating Lunar New Year, and also for them to share what they do at home with their friends. So here is we're in our dining room. So regardless of which boarding house you live in while here, you have your meals here in the main dining hall on the college. That would be 3 meals a day, breakfast, lunch, and an evening meal. So this is the end of breakfast, and this is also an area where students sometimes come and study during the day. As well as the main dining area, we also have a cafe. It's Valentine's Day today, so we've got some little special cake on offer for the students. So here is somewhere that students have got a coffee shop. Students are able to come and get some snacks, drink, different things. But also at lunchtime, and even if you don't want the hot meal that's on offer at the main hatches, you're able to come here and get a sandwich, panini, or a jacket potato, or something like that. Okay, so from here, we're going to talk a little bit about boarding and go into that Abbey House boarding house. So to access the house, students need to use their cards. Okay, so we've now just entered into Abbey House. This is the boarding house for our younger students, but boarding works very similarly across whichever boarding house the students are in. So we have our 4 boarding houses: Abbey House, Tripos Court, Orchard House, and Purbeck. Both Abbey, Tripos, and Purbeck are all single ensuite rooms. In Orchard House, they're all single rooms, but you share a bathroom. It's about 1 bathroom to every 2 to 3 rooms, because it's kind of within flats. Every boarding house has a laundry. So we'll just show you, here's the laundry here in Abbey House. So our students who are sort of 16 and over are responsible for looking after their own laundry. The younger students get a little bit more help. And then there's also, we look after towels, and in this boarding house, we look after bedding as well. So students are on their floors by gender. So I'm just going to go now and show you, we'll go up the 2nd floor, and I can show you a typical room. Again, because it's half term, the students are in the boarding house. So we might encounter a few students as we wander. Normally students would not be in the boarding house during the day. They would be in their lessons. They leave the boarding house at 8:45 in the morning, and then that then allows us time for cleaning and any maintenance that needs to be done. And then they have that access back into the boarding house from about 3:30 onwards. So I'll just kind of here, we can have a look out the window as well. It's quite a nice view. So you can see across the way there in the background, that's Purbeck House. So, and then Tripos Court is the other side of that. There's a B block again, the basketball courts. And from here, we are very close to Cambridge train station, and we're about 2 kilometres from the main city centre. So everything here is very accessible. There's local shops, cinema, bowling alley, restaurants, very, very close by for the students to be able to use. Okay, so now on the second floor. Just going to go and have a look in one of the rooms. So, as you can see, when it's someone's birthday, the boarders get involved. So this student has gone away for half term. So we can come in and have a look at what would be a very sort of typical single room. This room is a little bit bigger. This is actually, because it's half term and I'm having to show you around a room where I know a student's gone away. This room is actually one of our accessible rooms. So it does have an ensuite, but this ensuite is a little bit larger. Well, it is a lot larger than we'd usually get because it's got the accessible shower in it. Usually the ensuites would be smaller, the same lavatory, same wash basin, but would have a much smaller shower unit. But everything else here in the room is the same in terms of the bed, shelving, lamp, a study desk and a wardrobe. And in the wardrobe, there's a safe where students are encouraged to put their passports and BRP cards. So we're just now going to have, so this is a boys' floor. So only the boys that live on this floor have access to this area of the boarding house. And they only do have access to the common room. We're going to wander around and show you. And if they want to be mixing with friends from other different boarding houses or other areas, and there's the common room that's downstairs. Or again, sometimes some of the other boarding houses will host events and activities in their boarding houses that students are able to go. So within the boarding house, we have our house parents who also live on site. There is somebody here accessible for the students 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Okay, so I'm just wandering through here now. I'm going to come around and have a look at the common room. So you can see here again, there's some clocks and times of all sort of different areas in the world that the students on this floor live in. So, and here is a very typical Abbey House common room for the students that live here. So as you'll see, this terms of the breads and snacks and things and fruit. So even though the students have 3 meals a day in the dining room, they will also, in the common room, we will also provide fruit, bread, snacks, so that if they are hungry in the evening or at times the dining room isn't open, they also have access to food. And there's fridges in here. Students can go out and get some of their own foods and snacks. And again, there is a kettle, toaster and a microwave in here should students wish to heat something up themselves. In all of our other boarding houses, which our older students go to, they have access to cookers as well. So if you're in Tripos, Purbeck or Orchard House, you can also cook for yourselves as well. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to come out of the boarding house and we're now into our Block A teaching area. Oh, I think someone's just asked me a question. Is the accommodation for one person? Kevin, yes, all of our rooms are single ensuite rooms, unless you can have a twin room, but it is for siblings of the same sex. So if there are 2 brothers coming together, we could look at them having a room together. But other than that, it is single ensuite accommodation. So we are now in the teaching area. So we're just very quickly going to come and have a look at this. Is a sort of very typical classroom for us here. So you can see Hero 1. So it's a tutor room for Hero 1. Oh, hang on, I've got some more questions coming in. Okay, that's fine. Just to clear those. Right, so this is an English room that we're in at the moment. So we'll go and visit some other classrooms as well, but just point out, as you can see, our nice shiny walls, and that's because we use them for teaching. So the students will very often come and write, do exercises here upon the walls. All of the rooms will have an interactive smart board, and all of the students here will have like a touch screen laptop or tablet with which they can use to work on, which will be linked to Microsoft Teams and OneNote, so their teachers will be sending them information that they can be working on all the time. Everything is then stored in your folders on OneNote. It's all in one place. So when your teaching resources, your classwork, your homework, so when it comes to doing things like topic tests and term exams, you've got all the information that you need is there. And the great thing about Teams as well is it's another way that you can access your teachers. And your teachers want you to do well. They want you to succeed. They are here to help you. And so there are lots of different ways in which you can contact them outside of your lessons if you've got any questions and need a bit of help with something. The other thing I just put out, so here, so it's when students come in, so the classroom, we all have the cards. So you literally tap your card and it will then register you that you are present in your lesson. And if you're missing at all, then our attendance officer is alerted straight away. Okay. Right, so I'm just, while we're walking along here, I'm just going to answer some more of these questions. So the room that you saw is that standard room. It's probably a little bit bigger than a normal standard room because it was an accessible room, but by the by, yes, that is classed as a standard room. Is there any special facilities for students to study? Yes, we do have study rooms. There's a study room over in Block B. In the boarding houses, there are some different study rooms, and there are some classrooms that are also available for students to study in. We do recognise that it is very important that students have somewhere quiet that they can go and study. In an evening, for the younger students, there is also a supervised prep session, which the older students, if they wish, are also very, very welcome to go and join them in that room as well. And how many people per class? Generally, I'd say between maximum 15 in a class. Most classes are between 10 to 15 students. Okay, so we're just going to wander. We're actually going to go and look at some more rooms downstairs. So we're just coming past lots of the physics department. So as you can see, there's always lots of kind of inspiring displays and different things. So things here, this is with the physics. I went to a CAT-SAN competition where they built and launched their own rocket. And here, let's just sort of pause here to talk about our different Abbey Inspires. So here, the majority of the students here at Abbey College Cambridge are boarders. We're probably about 98% boarding, and a range of different nationalities, many of which students don't have English as their first language. So we have various different clubs, activities, and things aim to help the students make the most of their boarding environment they're in, new experiences, new skills, but also develop the knowledge of what they're learning in the classroom outside the classroom and give them that extra stretch that's needed as well. So one of the ways we do this is through Abbey Inspires, which are our evening lectures. So to give you an idea of some of the things that have happened recently. So the chemistry department ran a careers workshop, and they're also looking at gases. The English department have been looking at did something about improving vocabulary for IELTS, and the art department have been doing some live drawings in an evening as well. So it just gives you an idea of the numerous things that are happening around here in the college, which is going to now go down to the first floor and go and have a look at some of our labs. I've had another question come in. Is there a playground? The main area here that students run around in is, so that you can see for the sun, we have our basketball court, an area that's down here. We also use other facilities that are off-site. So our basketball team go and train in a local sports hall. The football team use a local pitch. We use a local swimming pool for swimming club. So there are lots of different facilities close by that students can go and use. Hope that answers your question, Kevin. Okay, so again, talking about the lots of different clubs and things, we have quite a thriving music department here, which caters for every kind of musical need. So a number of our students will play instruments, and we can arrange them to carry on with the lessons. Some just want to come and do some singing. We've got rock and pop bands, string clubs. And music is just a really great way for students to relax and to have a break from their studies. So this corridor that we're on now, so this is our English as an additional language department, which again, as I was saying, the majority of the students here don't have English as a first language. So this is an area that they will come, be part of their timetable, where they will have their lessons. And for those heading off to university, chances are that they're going to need an IELTS of sort of 7.0. So again, we will ensure that the students are working towards achieving that English level that they're going to need. It's great, obviously, for a top university, you've got to get those A's, those A stars. But if also for students that need it, if you haven't got the IELTS results as well, you're not going to make to that university. So we realise that the emphasis on improving English and getting those English qualifications are just as important. So here, again, if you can see, we have our Abbey College Charter, which again, as I said earlier, the students here are ambitious. So here at Abbey College Cambridge, we are ambitious, we work smart, we engage in discussion, we actively engage, we give feedback. There's a lot of the students here take champions of their own learning. They're in the class, they're asking questions, they're looking for further reading, they're looking at how they're going to improve themselves. As I said earlier, the teachers here, they want you to do well, they want you to achieve, they want you to get that university that you're aspiring to get to, and they are here to help you do that. But if you need help, there is an element that you've got to ask. Okay, so we're just now wandering along this corridor. So each of the sciences, chemistry, physics and biology, have their own workspace, but as you can see here, we've got the gas tanks, things are here. So everything lab has the specialist equipment that it needs to be able to teach that science to the standard of sort of A level, and going to provide the stretch for those who are also going on to study chemistry at the university. We also prepare students for a lot of sort of Olympiads, and again, looking for that extra stretch outside of the classrooms. Just the lab is not. And then as we wander along here, we've also have one of our physics labs as well. Hello, Chris. I'm just on my virtual tour, so we're just coming to. Oh, there you go. Look, we've got some examples and some OneNote up on the screen as well. So again, here in physics, in Chris's physics lab, as you can see, slightly different equipment and everything that's in here that's needed for your physics practicals. Thank you very much. And then as I wander along this corridor here, I'm going to show you the amazing artwork that we have on the walls here as we're heading towards our art department. And we'll just go and have a look. Yeah, in our art room. And unfortunately, this is visual because there's an amazing smell of paints in here. And again, you can see here some of the different artwork as the students are reaching the end of their courses now and are working on their final exam pieces. Okay, so I'm now just going to turn the camera back onto me for a bit. Actually, we'll stay here in the art room. So I can see we've got some more questions that have come in. So where is the dormitory? Okay, so the dormitory, obviously, that's the boarding house that we've just walked into. So again, actually, let me just flip my camera back around. So in terms of depending which boarding house we are in, so literally we're in the teaching area here, and as you can see, this is now saying it's Abbey House. So through in here, this is our Abbey House boarding house. So and so in terms of dormitories, we don't have dormitories here. We have single rooms, which are the ones that like the one that I showed you earlier. I'll just wander back through this way. Is there a library? There is a library. It's also part of a study room. There we call it, but the majority of the texts and further reading that you will need to do is actually will be provided to you via OneNote, online resources, or any real sort of specific textbooks will be in the classrooms that the teachers will recommend to you and will pass to you. What about the environment? Okay. In terms of the environment here, it's a very supportive, encouraging environment. It's a very thriving environment. We are a college, we are a community of students who are very aspirational. They are looking, so when I look back at when students come back and visit, they are at, the UK's top universities, and the students all support one another and work well together to help everyone fulfill those dreams. So I'd say it's a very supportive, welcoming environment. It's very thriving, lots of clubs, lots of activities. It's also a fairly adult environment. We're preparing you for life at university here. So there is probably a little bit more independence than you may get in a more traditional environment. You are allowed to sign out. We're in the city centre, or just on the edge of the city centre. And when it comes to clubs and activities, you're encouraged to do things, but you're not forced to do things. A lot of your work, you need to learn to manage your own time and become slightly more independent as a person as well. So I hope that answers that question there. Okay, so that probably pretty much concludes the tour that I'm going to take you on today. And hopefully I have given you all a very good feel for the kind of facilities of what we have here in boarding and in teaching at Abbey College, Cambridge. But has anybody else got any other questions that they'd like to ask before I sort of end end this morning's session. No, it all looks as if you are all had your questions answered. But obviously, please they have at the end, and so this session is recorded and will be available via our sort of different sort of social medias, YouTube channels. And I obviously, if any of you are in the UK and wish to come and visit in person, we would always be very, very happy to welcome you here to come and visit. We like visiting, we like meeting people face to face as well. So I very much hope that we have the opportunity to meet. And thank you very much for attending and your time this morning.